He was at LSU for 25 years. He went to the SEC championship 4 times, the tournament championship once. He was the coach of the year 4 times and the national coach of the year in 1981. Dale Brown is joining us on ESPN Radio 1280. Mike and CJ. Baton Rouge is where he is. He stayed there after leaving LSU. He spent 25 years as the head coach of the LSU Tigers, and he's joining us now on the Sports Bite. And it's cool to have him because not only was he one of the best college basketball coaches ever, in my mind, in the history of the world, but he's also one of the nicest, smartest, most intellectual, analytical guys you might ever meet on the planet. Dale Brown, are you there?
CJ, I'm here, and it's great to talk to you again. It's been some time.
I know. I'm glad to reach out to you. You had a nice time in Indianapolis?
Yeah, it was fun, except the 40 minutes of pain UCLA put on LSU, but had my grandson and my wife there, so it took away a little of the pain, CJ.
Did you think when the tournament started that LSU was going to get that far?
I knew they had great potential. In fact, UCLA is the one that shocked me. I was at the UCLA opener against a Canadian team with John Wooden, and they didn't look real good. In fact, the Canadian team hung fairly close to them. So I wasn't that convinced UCLA was that good, but LSU was really good. They had as good a talent as there was in the country, and I thought they had an excellent chance of making it. When they made it to the Final Four, I thought they'd win it. In fact, I was on a program called Master Basketball Coaches, and John Wooden, Gene Bartow, and Denny Crum preceded me, and it was predicting who'd win the UCLA-LSU game, and they all said right away UCLA. And I said, well, I hate to differ with my dear friend John Wooden, but I said, Coach, I just don't think UCLA can beat LSU. And then the next day, I talked to Steve Lavin. He said the same thing, and so 4 experts and 1 dummy, CJ.
I'm so glad that we have a chance to talk to you, Dale, because not only do you have the greatest stories, but you have insight on the game as it is played today, which to me sometimes I'm not always a big fan of calling our athletes student athletes when the student part is kind of lost. And that's a conversation for another day. You and I have had that one before, but I wanted to get your thoughts on Billy Donovan. And years ago when he took the job at Florida, Rick Pitino said, you know, Billy, it's not going to be a great job. Florida's a football school. You're not going to get the attention and the money, and you're really not going to be given the tools you need to make it a good basketball program. What do you think Rick Pitino said to Billy Donovan after the Gators won the championship?
I'm sure he was ecstatic, and it was nothing new. When I came to LSU to accept this job, all my friends told me, Dale, you're making a major mistake. This is going to be your first and last head major college coaching job. That's a graveyard. It's a football school. Well, after I got here and recognized how true that was, now they had some moments of greatness. There was the Bob Pettit era. There was the Pete Maravich era. But 14 out of 17 years prior to my arrival, CJ, they had losing seasons. But I think the reason that I was able to make it, I had a great AD by the name of Carl Maddox. And the more I brought to him about how insignificant basketball was, they never got the media guide out on time. The first practice I had, October 15th, 1972, in the arena, Pete Maravich Assembly Center, the people in the Assembly Center didn't know the practice started. We had to sweep our own floors and clean our own backboards that particular day. So I think you have to have administrative help, or it is a graveyard, and that's apparently what he's had at Florida. And I'm sure when Rick Pitino, coming out of Kentucky, which was a hotbed, and then going to Louisville, another hotbed, and being with the Boston Celtics, he wasn't quite aware of that. So I'm sure he was pretty shocked that Billy was able to do it.
Hey, I know we've kept you a long time, Coach. I have to
CJ, you haven't kept me a long time. By the way, you said I was at LSU 25 years. You haven't even lived 25 years, have you, you rascal?
You're the best.